My name is Joe McDuff, and in this video I will be speaking with a farmer. We'll get to see alfalfa, peas, bees, and Paul.
We'll go out and take a look after lunch. We got this Teff that we're growing too. Hasn't seeded, it hasn't headed out yet, but that's a warm season grass, planted first part of June. The alfalfa, I gotta say, looks good. We're getting some good curls. The bees are working good. It's not been terribly hot. Problem is we're very limited on water. That's our problem.
Well, it's been a nice year for it anyway.
It has been. It has been.
I mean,
that's the benefit.
Better than last year.
Oh, 3 days, 115 degrees.
Yeah.
Or do you have iced tea? The largest you got?
You spray them out?
Dry peas for seed.
Yeah. So you just dried them out? Naturally, you didn't?
No, we swapped them last night.
Yeah.
But they just dried out. Yeah, they get dry enough to where you can swap them.
Yeah.
And then harvest them. Peas are what goes to seed here, and the green pea growers plant these seeds, and these wind up in usually probably the frozen section or the fresh peas. They freeze a lot of them. My wife came out one year, she was raising the Palouse, and they raised smooth peas up there, and she looked at these and she said, "This crop is totally ruined. These are all shriveled up. We're broke." I said, "Well, this is when they go for seed, this is what they look like." So I think in about 4 or 5 days we'll be harvesting these probably. Yeah, well, we can go across the road here now and look at the alfalfa there. As soon as they're coming out, the bees are tripping them, and then they come and they produce something these are curls on there, and those are loaded with seed there. Do you see those here, Paul?
Yeah.
But unless that blossom trips, you don't get a curl, and all you get is fish bones. Something like this one here. See this one here? This one here had blossoms on it, but it wasn't pollinized. The blossoms weren't tripped by the bees. They didn't get to it in time, and they just drop off then if they're not tripped. But see, you see some purple up over there, but it's not wide open, if you know what I mean. The blossoms aren't wide open because they're tripping it almost as fast as the blossoms open. I can see one right here. See this one right here? These are, I'll show you what I mean here. It's a good example. You see all the yellow there, and there, that's the pistil that have been tripped. All those yellow ones have been tripped, and that'll make a seed.
How do you figure out how many bees you're going to put out in each?
We try to get between 4 and 5 gallons out. A gallon of bees is defined as 10,000 live bees. They're working today. These are the larvae that we put out, and they're all hatched out for the most part. See the hollow cocoons, and then the females are going out and collecting nectar from the blossoms. In the process, they'll trip the blossom to make a seed, and they'll come in here then and put They're leaf cutter bees, so they cut just a little bit of the leaf, and this is some of the leaves down here that they've lost. Maybe they've collided with another bee or something, or they didn't make it quite. They didn't quite make it, but they've cut this out, and these leaf parts here, they cut them out, and they'll put some of that leaf deep in the hole there. It's about 6 inches deep, and then she'll lay the egg and store a little nectar in with it, and then cap it off, and then go do another one to where she'll have probably that, as deep as that is, all filled. You see the green on that bottom one right there? Those are filled right now, and there's some filled up in there as well. So they're starting to fill here a little bit. And then you can see the larvae here are, about 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch long, and that's where we'll keep them at about 50 degrees after we take them out this fall. And then 3 weeks before we want to set them out, trying to time the bloom with the hatch, about 3 weeks of 85-degree temperatures, and they're ready to fly. We'll bring them out in these boxes here, and they're ready to go.
Like, there's a wasp there. You have to worry about them.
Yeah, they're no good in what have. I don't know if you saw the ravens down here on this one down here.
Yeah.
That's a field of canola down there we swathed about a week ago.
Oh, so is he spraying out the Canadian thistle now?
Cutting it off because it's gone to seed. He's cutting it off, putting it in the bag.
So that half circle of alfalfa is the last one?
No.
Okay.
This is a field of Teff here.
You're going to swap this or just combine it?
We'll swath it, yeah. 3.5 pounds of seed, of Teff seed, 5 pounds of mustard, and 3 pounds of corn meal, and put them mix it all up and put it in the drills and seeded it that way, which seemed to work out pretty well. And what happened was the mustard, like you see right there, came up and provided some wind protection for us. This is the second year we've grown this. The first year we had 10 acres of it. This is about 60 acres right now. And I thought maybe this is where the product was going. We're raising this for the commodity, for the seed, the grain, and company we're raising it for, the Teff company, says no, there's so many Ethiopians in the United States that we can't supply the demand, so they ask us to try to grow some up here, and this is what we're trying to do. Yeah, 3.5 pounds is not very many pounds. I think there's 950,000 seeds per pound. They're so tiny, smaller than the smallest seed I've ever seen. It'll go. Well, let's go and take a look at that other alfalfa seed field, huh? Everything working here okay? The heat isn't bothering you?
No.
Okay, Tom. That's all I got. The honeybee is so big when that when they trip that thing, it snaps them in the nose. Well, the honeybee, after a couple times of getting snapped, he learns to come in from the side, get the nectar without tripping. No trip, no seed. The leafcutter bee is small enough. She comes in there and hits it, and it doesn't even hit her. So she's fine.
Think that your yield would be pretty good on these?
I think this one will be pretty good. Well, that was an interesting trip.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Remember, Christ is risen. Until next time, this has been Faces Talking. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Joel.